What is up, you guys? It's your favorite cutie, Tati, and this is another installment of Talking with Tati. So today we're going to be getting into the horrific happenings that went on yesterday in Minneapolis. Before I get into that, please make sure you guys like the video and you guys interact with the video by hyping it if you are enjoying me showing up more, because it just helps the videos to be seen and also it just gives me motivation. But let's just get into it, you guys. This is like my third time recording this video because now we're in this weird space where we're also being censored on the internet. So I have to remember to say pew pew or unalived, okay? Because I want you guys to be able to see this video and I want to reach the people who need to see this video. And God, universe, please send this video and put it in front of the people who need to see it. Okay, so let's just talk about what happened. So Renee from Minneapolis was leaving her home, exiting her driveway, and was unalived at point blank range by an ICE officer in an unmarked car, a civilian car at that. So we are now at a very scary place where and I don't want to take this wrong. I don't want to say this wrong because obviously I'm black and brown, and it's horrible every single time that I hear about a black or a brown person being taken out, or anybody who's a minority, because obviously we're targeted higher because we're not white. But seeing a white woman be unalived and pew pew at point blank range, and seeing how the media still continues to try to spin it to make it seem like she was the aggressor, it shows me that literally nobody is safe. I was never safe. You know, those of us who were trying to be very loud about not voting for this, we always knew that we weren't safe. And that's why we were very adamant on getting to the polls. And that's why most of the black and the brown people did show up for Kamala. And I just want to say, how do you feel now if you were one of those people who were so high on your horse saying that, Kamala and Trump are one and the same? You are a freaking fool if you seriously believe that. Because if you think that this would be happening if Kamala was in office, please be so fucking for real. But anyway, those of us who were very adamant about speaking out and not voting for this, we always knew what was coming down the pipeline. And to be honest, the others did too, because Trump was very vocal. I'm gonna call him Rump. Rump was very vocal about what his plans were and how he didn't want, he was vocal pretty much the first time he was in office because he didn't want to leave, which is why he had his thugs that are now out on the street terrorizing all of us storm the White House. So it's just like, this is just a crazy place. But honestly, all of this to say that it's time to get serious. Like, I'm especially reaching out to women who are like me, single women of all colors, of all races. If you are living alone, it's time to get a gun, okay? It's time to keep a gun in your house. It's time to open carry if you're allowed in your state to open carry. It's time to get those shooting lessons. It's time. The time has passed. It's past time. It's time to get out there. And I have an episode on the Tati Show where I talk about this, but now I feel like it's just time for me to advocate even more for women to be on your self-defense. Take those self-defense classes, get you a gun, because you just don't know. And there's nobody to protect us at this point. And I say that because even watching protest videos, so many of the times it's women standing there alone when they're going toe-to-toe with ICE agents in full rioting gear. And it's us stepping up and speaking out. And I don't see a lot of these men behind us. And I feel like we need to, at bare minimum, if you're gonna be out there and shit, even if you're just gonna fucking live alone or just be in this world that we're in currently, it's time to get you a pew pew. Get it and learn how to use it. And have ammo and know how to fucking load it and unload it and practice it. And teach your kids gun safety, because we don't know. I just saw another post and I'm hoping that it was fake news, but from the account that I was watching, they don't really post fake news. So I'm hoping it is, just for the sake of all of us. But do you guys know that JD Vance said something about like having ICE agents go from door to door? Like, if this isn't Germany, then what is it? I feel like it's time for us to stop denying what's happening. Like, I never denied it, but I just feel like I always still had a hope that it would never get to the point that it's getting. Because Renee is not the first. She's not the first to be taken out by an ICE agent. These are regular fucking civilians with a power trip going and getting paid so much money to terrorize people. And they're emboldened because they know that they have the president behind them. We're in an era of lawlessness. If our own government and our own president openly is doing all types of lewd acts and all types of fuckery, what can we expect coming down the pipeline? And it's time to stop fucking playing so fucking nice and thinking that shit is going to get better and start preparing for the fucking worst. And if it doesn't get there, then great. If it doesn't get there, wonderful. But if it does, be prepared, have some sort of plan. Because I'm already thinking, okay, so first of all, I think that all of us who are able need to tune into some sort of network, because you know how they have like certain apps and like certain communities that track ICE and tell us where they're coming and when they're coming. We need to know these things, because then you can prepare to, if they were to do the door-to-door, don't be home. Literally do not be home. Avoid. The first thing to always do, I feel like, for anybody, especially if they're going to do the door-to-door, is to make sure that you're not fucking home and that your kid is not home, your children are not home, your family is not home when they're in the areas and doing these raids, because that's exactly what the fuck it is. Because Americans are being killed, Americans are being taken in every day, because all of this is basically fueled off of racism. And if you don't look like if you don't have a certain look, then you could be taken in. There's been so many people who've had IDs and those IDs have been bypassed because they're just taking people in and they're making them into slaves into these camps. And people are disappearing. And by disappearing, I'm pretty sure a lot of them are dying, unfortunately. Either being, I don't know. I don't know what to expect, but I feel like we should expect the worst at this point, and we should be prepared and start making plans and stop acting like this shit isn't fucking happening. Second, I want to talk about how, you guys know I love to talk about dreams and going after our dreams. And yesterday, I was filled with so much joy and happiness and motivation. And I want us to continue that, because I feel like both can exist at the same time. Even though that it's hard to think that it's possible, I don't want you guys, and I don't want for myself, to stop living my life. Because guess what? First of all, time isn't going to stop. So what we do with our life is what we do with our life. So if we hide in fear and we don't do anything because we're so paranoid, you'll look back in your life and maybe you'll be happy that you played it safe. But also for me, I feel like I want to still live my life to the fullest and be the happiest that I can be and express myself the most that I can while I'm able, and while I'm here and while I'm youthful and able to move my body. And I'm not sacrificing my youth to be afraid and to sit around waiting for bad things to happen. I'm going to be as prepared as I can be, but I'm also going to live my life, and I'm going to live it joyfully. And one of the things that inspires this thought is, I was on Instagram and I saw Black people during the Great Depression. Sure, a lot of them were struggling, but a lot of them were creating music. A lot of them were, creating like a renaissance of sorts. I think, was it Motown? Motown, or one of these like giant movements for music was happening. And that was simultaneously happening with some of the worst times. And I feel like in every instance, there's always positive and good that's going to happen in the world too. And I think it's important for us to tune into the bad sometimes so we can be prepared and not be a sitting duck. But also we can create good in these times as well. And I'm not going to sacrifice my dreams. Because guess what? Even if the worst was to happen and they were to take us out, right? I 1000% would have rather lived my life fully, joyfully, self-expressed, fully realized before I was taken out than to waste my time here on earth as a soul who's hiding and scared and afraid and choosing not to tap into abundance. There's always abundance. I don't give a fuck what's going on. There's always abundance, and we can always tap into it. And there's always ways to just be smarter and learn more. If you're not good with money, read books. Read books that teach you what to do with your money, how to take advantage of compound interest, It's not as hard as we think. Sometimes we just don't have the information and we weren't taught that. And that's okay. Take it into your own hands and figure out what you need to do to live the best life that you can live. Because at the end of the day, that's what I'm always about. I'm about living well. I'm about living happy. I'm about living free. But I'm also about being prepared. Not wait until you find out after people are already fucking around. Like, you know what I'm saying? So let's just live for today. Be our best every day. Let's stand up when we can. Let's use our voices to speak out when we can. Let's show up for others when we can. And let's prepare for the worst, but also live our best fucking lives. Because fuck anything else. The life that you have inside of you, the force that runs through you, this body that you're in, this beautiful vessel that you're in, it's for now. And life goes so fast. We see how fast 2025 went by. Don't let this year pass you by without absolutely finding ways to thrive even in the darkness, okay? And if that means that it's time to start looking into other options and looking into other countries and even escaping, you know, if you have the means to escape and the wherewithal to get out of this country and make a better life for yourself, then do it. But don't let anybody take away your spark. Don't let anybody push you into a dark corner because of what's going on into the world. Act with love, be smart, be intelligent, and be prepared. But don't stop living life, okay? I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning into another video. I know this is a little bit heavier, but I feel like it's something that I wanted to say. And if I'm going to show up here and, you know, do the whimsical thing and talk about all of the other stuff, I feel like it's just as important for me to show up when there's fucked up shit happening in the world. It's just as important. It's just as important, and we need to be just as prepared in any instance. I love you guys so much. Like I said, please give me a free energy donation or give me a like. Get down in those comments. Let me know, what do you guys think about what's happening in Minneapolis, what's happening in general in the US, because she's not the first. But I feel like it's getting the most coverage because she's a white woman. And I feel like we all needed that wake-up call collectively, because I needed people to be able to put themselves in those shoes. I feel like some white people can't put themselves, like they can't fathom that it would happen to them. They always see it as happening to us or people that don't look like them. So to have a white face at the end of that gun, I feel like will wake up a lot of people to be like, yeah, it's time to stop thinking that we're the exception and start to act and get out and do what you can and deconstruct all the white nationalism that is indoctrinated into those with that skin color. Because I don't blame them, because it's something that's passed down, but I do blame those who choose to be willfully ignorant and pretend that we're not living in a cruel, cruel world and country. So I love you guys. Once again, I gotta go, but please protect yourselves, be aware, and stay beautiful. Mwah. Bye. Besos.